Thank you. That's a great honor for them. I know we've had a few throughout the year and really haven't had a chance to mention them. So all those guys that have got that honor, certainly we appreciate it from Baylor University and the football team. But, much needed road win the other night. I was really proud of the effort that our guys gave, the attitude that they played with. Thought the coaches did a tremendous job of having our team prepared. And, the people that were from Baylor certainly appreciate their support. We had a pep band there. They did a good job, throughout the game. So all of it was good, especially after coming off of, very much disappointment the week before. But, the great thing is we have another opportunity this week, and that's what this profession is all about. It's a week-to-week business, and you appreciate it. You just grind through and, hope for good things, and that's certainly what will happen this week.
John Warner, Waco Trib. Art, this might take the whole press conference. Can you go through the injury prognosis?
Honestly, John, I'll try to mention as many as I can think of. I really haven't talked to Mike today. But, offensively, we got Stidham, Shock, Gus. Maybe that's the top. That's the three that come to mind right now. Defensively, Bo and Bonds, are still out. Orion, didn't play the other night. That's three that come to mind there. Probably forgetting a couple. Am I? You? Yeah. Yeah, Bert. Yeah, Bert's, I think he'll be okay this week. Those other guys, I think, are all very questionable. Shock, we'll see how he is today and go from there. So it's, it's late in the year. We've been very fortunate, throughout the last couple of years, although, I got to thinking about it in 2013, we were pretty beat up when I was looking at tape, the last couple of games there in 2013. We're without Tevin Reese, without Hager, without Seastrunk. Yeah, Spencer got hurt, actually. Didn't play some that year, Spencer Durango. So it just happens. We just got to grind on, keep going. Shock's is a knee, a little bit of a knee and ankle. He tried to come back and play a little bit the second half, was not as effective as he needed to be or could be. But, I thought those other guys, Johnny and Devin, were really, really good. Both of them got fresh legs, and, that we kind of learned a lesson last year. A guy having like Devin late in the game can help you, and I thought he did a great job the other night for us late in the game.
Cherry Hill Baylor Bear Insider. Art, can you just assess what you guys saw from Chris? And you said after the game it wasn't a surprise, but just what he was able to do in that second half.
Well, just a lot of spirit, a lot of energy, every intangible you could ever hope for. He's just a tremendous young man with a tremendous heart, and it's just a great teammate, like I said the other night. In the last couple of weeks in practice, since he moved back to quarterback, he has really gotten sharp. Really sharp. And so we knew we were in a situation of where something happened to, Stidham, he'd have to be ready to go, and he was ready. So, we, playbook's open, and we're dialing up same stuff that we are with Seth and Jared because he can deliver. He's good. He can do it. And so that part of it is not surprising at all. And like I said, and then he brings another element to the table too because he's a big guy that can run. So it's good. It's good that you can be a little different late in the season, from a schematic standpoint also.
Art, Chuck Carlton, Dallas Morning News. Is it as easy as it seems to us when you just put another quarterback in there and they seem to thrive in it, or is it a case of your offense, your preparation, or maybe the guys you have at that position?
I think it's tribute to those guys, quite honestly. The thing about the quarterback position is, you recruit one a year normally. Some years you don't recruit one. We've gone a year or so without recruiting one. So you never want to get too heavy in that position. And so the guys that are in there, it's always dialed in. all through the year. You're dialed in, you're talking football, they understand everything that's going on, and it's just in their DNA at that position to understand, to be in, use their intelligence as an advantage, and to be very competitive. So all these guys are always at the top of their game, whether it's January or whether it's, November the 28th. I mean, they're going to be ready to go. And so we limited personnel that are highly athletic and highly intelligent. So it lends itself to having a probability of success on the field on game day.
All right, Max Olson, ESPN.com. Just to be clear on Jarrett, is it the ankle, the hand, the back? What's kind of the big concern with him getting healthy this week?
I mean, you hit all three. It's actually more of a, instead of the ankle, it's the, I think it's the fibula. This isn't the bone down there. So, he was not very good yesterday. I haven't seen him today or talked to Mike, but, I would list him as, highly questionable for this week.
Coach Sean Gagey, News 10 Sports.
Yep.
So with that, are you going to go through this week preparing as if Chris is your starter, and is there going to be anyone else you're going to pull up to take reps in practice at quarterback?
I think definitely today was certainly prepare Chris being our starter. Pulling a couple of guys up. We got a couple of guys that we're looking at. Really don't want to mention them right now because we hadn't talked to them. We're still. I mean, this has been a pretty quick turnaround since, Saturday night till right now. So, we hadn't really had a chance to evaluate everything that we're going through. But we do have two guys that we feel that can certainly handle the job if they get in an emergency situation.
Art, Tim Griffin with the San Antonio Express News. I know it's a building process as far as developing your program. Are you guys better able to withstand a run of injuries now than you might have done 2-3 years ago because of what you've been able to recruit recently?
I think so, yeah, Tim. Actually, we've been feeling that way for the last probably 3 years that we finally have a Big 12 quality depth. I mean, that you have to have to finish the season, especially, whenever game you're involved in, is a big game, either from your side or the opponent's side. So that you certainly have to have good quality people along the board, and we do. I think it's evident by the way these guys are stepping in and playing for us when called upon.
Does that give you a little bit of extra comfort knowing that you've got guys on the bench that you can lean to?
It does. Yeah, it really does, because we consider all our guys, starters or potential starters.
Coach John Morris, Baylor Radio. You had some of the injuries were in that defensive line, but how big was the line play the other night, both sides, in that win over Oklahoma State?
I think it's a difference in the football game, and that's something, of course, everybody emphasizes. But if you can win up front, both sides of the ball, you got a good chance to win a game. And I mentioned our O-line. I thought they were tremendous, and I don't know if I mentioned it here, mentioned it somewhere, but they were tremendous. And then the D-line, I mean, those guys were relentless. They were relentless, and I thought they played extremely hard and kept a lot of pressure on Rudolph and Walsh when he was in there. And, it's just a testament to them. I think they, stepped up to the plate and, delivered.
Sean Gerard of Dallas Morning News. Coach, to change gears a little bit, you have TCU on Friday. This is a game that was really one of the instant classics of last season. How are you guys preparing for that, and what do you guys expect on Friday?
We're preparing just like always. Every time we play any Big 12 opponent, it's always going to be a hard-fought game. This will certainly be no different. We've had some great games with TCU over the last, 5 or 6 years, and it's because they're a really good football team. They do a great job. They play extremely hard. They're well-coached and well-disciplined, and so that makes it a really good football game. So it's a deal where we're, there's the implications to us are, we're trying to get back in the Big 12 hunt and have an opportunity to, have another championship, banner around here, and then the bowl game implications are looming pretty large also. So, it's no different than the previous, 10 games prior to this one. You got to play your best every week if you want a chance to win.
Bryce Cherry, Waco Trib. J-Mo took my question, but I got to back up. You playing TCU, and they have some injuries as well with Boykin, kind of questionable. Do you prepare then for both guys this week?
Yeah, you have to. I don't know what exactly his status is. He certainly is. If there's a train, and who's the guy that gets it going, the conductor. I would list him, probably as the conductor of the train. But he's a great football player. Just tremendous athlete, great leader. Spirit of their team, I would say, particularly from my offensive standpoint. So you got to prepare for him, and then those other two guys, certainly did a good job the other night. So they're very capable also, and I think that's a testament to Coach Patterson and their staff for the recruiting they've done, over the last few years, that they got guys that can step in and keep it going, because that was a really valiant effort they gave up at Oklahoma against what we know is a really good football team.
Art, Stephen Hogg, you talk about every game's a big game now with the way you're concerned. Talk about your team and how it responded from the loss, came back. You go into the 11th game, you've still got all your goals in front of you, what that means to be this late in the season and that. And then also this TCU game, do you like it being at the end of the year and having it this late?
Well, we do like the fact that it is late in the season and we're still in the hunt, with an S. So, that is a tribute to our players. I think it's a tribute to our program, because it's, as we know, it's hard for everybody to look at you and you to deliver week after week after week after week. It's just tough. It's hard in the business. And so for our team to at least get to this point, of course, we hadn't done anything yet and hadn't finished, but at least, up to this point, we're still standing, pretty solid. Playing TCU late in the season, we have no control over that. We really don't. Would I prefer, maybe to split up some of these games? Yeah, no question. But I don't remember getting that text asking me, what I wanted to do. So, and I'm sure Ian didn't either. They deal you your hand and you play it. So we're playing it, and we're going to play well too. Like I said, we're excited about where we're at as a football team right now.
Coach Jessica Morey, KCN Sports. Just talk, Katie Cannon winning Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week, first multiple touchdown game of the season for him. Just what allowed him to have so much success, and how important was it for him to kind of have that little breakout going into the final two games of the season? Well,
his buddy in the room with him allowed him to have that success, Corey Coleman, because he opened up a lot of things for us, the other night, without question, the run game and the throw game. So he created some individual coverages, for him and Jay Lee, for KD and Jay Lee, that, certainly allowed us to do some things that we hadn't been able to do, up to that point. So that's that, aside from the fact that, KD and Jay Lee are exceptional football players that really game up on game day. So I was really happy. For KD. KD's had about a month of really good practices. And, the thing we got to keep remembering is that he's a true sophomore. He's a 19-year-old guy, So, he's really had a fast track here over the last, 20 months, and he's certainly delivered a lot for us in that short amount of time.
Art, a couple of his teammates all talked about how happy they were for Chris, that he had the kind of performance he was. I wonder if you could kind of assess how he accepted things mentally, what you saw in him after the game, and the different, just how he was able to go out and play so well when you called on him.
Yeah, the thing you love about Chris is just his humility. Just very humble, never changing. He's going to be the same day in and day out, whether it's really, really good or not so good. And that's I think the mark of a true champion and true leader, that you're going to be the same through the good and the not so good. So I think his parents have done a great job of raising him, to have a lot of confidence in himself, regardless of the situation, and it's certainly benefiting us at this time.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank y'all.